What is going on? We are officially live. Cheers. Product placement. I am drinking a Trogs Nugget Nectar, and it's pretty darn tasty. How's everybody doing? I know it usually takes like a minute or so for people to realize you're live. So right now it's funny because that always happens. It says like I have a thumbs up but no viewers yet. And I've got a comment and it still says, oh, jump to 4 people. What's up, Daniel B? How are you? How's everybody doing? I've been on the live stream kick lately. This is the 3rd live stream I've done recently, and I love doing these live streams. The only thing is I can get carried away so quickly. What feels like 5 minutes turns into like an hour. It just flies by, that instant interaction. I think you just lose track of time. But yeah, that's one of the things I really love about doing these live streams, that instant interaction, talking to people. And then also how easily accessible it is too. I'm using my iPhone 7 to do this, so pretty easy to do. What's up, Latenya? Movie Freak 688, what's up? The Drunk Bunny, what's going on? Maui Gold, any Netflix horrors you found? I still need to see Veronica, which everybody's raving about. I think the 2 biggest ones that people talked about for Netflix horror was The Ritual, which I thought was just alright. The creature design was unique, but not necessarily good. But it had really good atmosphere. I would say it's worth checking out, but not worth all the hype. Veronica is one that I still want to check out. I've heard a ton of buzz for that one. As far as as far as new ones, I liked was it the Devil's whatever, the heavy metal one recently. I thought that was really good. I can't remember the name of it right now. I'm overtired. I've been sleeping like poop lately. But I don't know if The Void is on there, but I would definitely recommend The Void if that's on there. But yeah, the one with Ethan Embry, Devil's Something, that was really good. The Babysitter I enjoyed. I know that was Netflix horror. How do you deal with trolls? Just had my first 4 buttholes. Sorry to hear. Usually I just block them. I've definitely had some crazy stalkers on here who've made... I remember a few years ago I had somebody that made like 33 accounts and disliked all my videos 33 times. And every time they would leave a nasty comment, I would block them and then they would just make a new one. It's all you can do. They'll wear themselves out over time. It's not worth your time or energy getting worked up over it. That's the only thing I could say. Just block them. Don't deal with them. Scott Travis, I sent you a message on Facebook to see if you want any criterions before I post them on eBay. I'll have to take a look then. Did you, I guess, yeah, you probably messaged me on my Absolute Sublime one, right? I don't always get notifications on that. Any movies you watched that you would recommend? I haven't seen anything really recently that's blown me away. 3 Billboards I saw later, like right before the Oscars. I would recommend that one. That's probably the best movie I've seen in the past like 3 months. Yeah, Blu-Ray, Brett, I would just say block any people who leave negative comments. It's not worth your time or energy. People who leave negative comments, nasty comments like that are just people who are unhappy with themselves. Because the person was intelligent or mentally sound, they wouldn't be wasting their time leaving negative comments to strangers on the internet. That's the best way to do it. The people who usually have mental health problems, unfortunately, and you just block them. Don't get worked up about it, buddy. Cheers, Movie Music Man 75. Boom. Scott Travis, I just saw your message from Facebook just now. Devil's Candy, thank you. I couldn't remember the candy part, but yeah, I would definitely recommend that one. Devil's Candy, The Void, and The Babysitter were all Netflix horrors that I enjoyed. I'm pretty sure The Void was on there. Love your videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. I guess I'm going to do like the same thing I've been doing recently. I'll just do like a little... you guys have seen the house tour already, so I won't do that. But plus the snow's already melting away, so that's it doesn't look as nice out there in the back part. But go ahead. I will say my horror pack came. There's the box for the horror pack right there. I'll probably do an unboxing for that tomorrow. Although I did see somebody on Instagram already post it, so I already know what's in there. Womp womp. I wish they would kind of do. I love the horror pack though. If you don't know what it is, it's a subscription-based service where they send you different Blu-rays or DVDs, usually 4 every month, and sometimes they have exclusives where you can only get those Blu-rays through them or DVDs through them. They'll have signed stuff, steelbooks sometimes. But one thing I do wish they would do is make it different. Like have like 1 in 50 get an autograph something, or 1 in something get something different than everybody else. Like a kind of like a little, and I have another message on there. Hold on, let me shut off this light because I'm trying to be fiscally responsible up in this piece. Got bills, man. Alright, there's some of the collection over there. Oh, I want to show you guys something. I changed one thing around. I got these things off of eBay, these little stands, which I thought were cool. So I can display some of my autographed DVDs right there. But I have a bunch of autographed Blu-rays. I don't think I'll have the space because I sold a ton of horror DVDs, like ones that I upgraded to Blu-ray or ones that I just never wanted to watch again. I had a whole bunch of like low-budget schlock that I just... it was time to purge it, so I got rid of a ton of stuff. But what do you think of that? I was able to get James Gunn on here and then Tyler Bates, the composer, before they got big, before they did Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, that was... I love Slither. I do have the recent Scream Factory Blu-ray, but that's before he got it big, before he blew up. And then David Schmoller, the director on there for Tourist Trap. And then Two Evil Eyes, George A. Romero and Adrian Barbeau. 30s of Night, I got Stephen Niles, and then can't remember the other guys on there right now. And then Dress to Kill, Nancy Allen. So pretty souped on that. I like the way that looks right there. What do you guys think of that? And then I put few of the box sets up at the top. I always like that Nightmare on Elm Street one. A lot of the DVD sets just look so much nicer than the Blu-ray set. The Blu-ray set for that looks terrible. And I wish I would have kept a Leprechaun set because it was, you know, individual ones like that and it just looked nicer. The Leprechaun Blu-ray set is garbage. I don't know. I don't like the display for it, but how's everybody doing? 80s horror fan, 88. Yes, the stands are cool. I have done the same. I'm going into the pop collection at the moment, getting out of control. Yeah, I'm not too big into the Funko Pops. I just noticed my hair looks like Jimmy Neutron right now. There's very few Funko Pops that I have. I'm picky with them because there's just so many. They have something for everything, and it gets out of control easily, it seems like. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to watch tonight. I might watch Veronica. Let me know if anybody on here has seen the Netflix horror Veronica. I've heard a lot of buzz for that. But I'll kind of do like a collection preview right here because I still want to... I haven't organized anything. Like everything is not, you know, alphabetized or anything like that. So I'll be doing a complete collection video coming up soon for the Blu-rays and DVDs and 4Ks. And I'm still debating on how to organize them. Should I mix the DVDs and Blu-rays together? Should I mix the 4Ks and Blu-rays together? Should I have them separated? The way that I have it separated right now is that I have horror DVDs separated, horror Blu-rays are in the other room. That's separated because horror is my favorite genre. I usually have the most of that. And then I have my Criterion collection separated, Twilight Time separated, Arrow Video separated, Steelbook separated, Digibook separated, and then I have like all the rest of the Blu-rays together and all the rest of the DVDs together. So, but here's some, down here at the very bottom, we've got some bootleg DVDs right there. Munchies, Elves, Blood Beach, Mom, The Brain Eaters, a whole bunch of different ones on there. Midnight Hour, I think, is down there too. The Brain. So, yeah, some of those definitely need a Blu-ray release for sure. And here's some IFC films. I know I have a few more. Those are a few. A lot of those ones need Blu-ray releases as well. Especially Mutants. I always talk about this one. I feel like Mutants is so underrated. This is a French-infected film. It's got a snowy setting in here too. Really washed out hue. Reflects the bleak tone. I love this one. I've talked about it so much. It's so underrated for me. And there's Snowtown Murders. Cold Prey. I like Cold Prey 2 the best. That's my favorite. But yeah, here's some more. Judgment Night and Crash are two ones that definitely need a Blu-ray release. As well as True Lies, which I have over there. The Beach. Kids. Blue Chips. A bunch of different ones in here. So yeah, here's just some random kind of going over stuff in here. 20 people, what's up? 20 people, but only 5 likes. Give me some likes on this video. Thank you very much. But here's just some more random scrolling through the collection. Here's my favorite slipcover that I own, Blu-ray slipcover, and that is for Drive. It's the Future Shop exclusive where it's like the jacket. I love the heck out of that. I love that film too. That film has become one of my all-time favorites now. Soul Plane, kind of a guilty pleasure. I know everybody hates on this one, but I love it. But yeah, I was able to get this signed up by the comedian Godfrey, who was like the co-pilot. I saw him do live stand-up at my local comedy club. But, oh, and here's something that came recently. I'm looking forward to revisiting this. Star Wars The Last Jedi on 4K. I like that, I don't know if that's picking it up on there. The kind of like glimmery slipcover for it. I don't know, the lighting over here is terrible. There's this like dark corner over here. I do have this light over here too, but I don't know, I need to, it doesn't really do too well to like pull it out, and there needs to be like a light right there, an overhead light, that would be good. But then I've got a bunch of the different sets up here, the Tommy Boy, Best Buy exclusive with the bobblehead, and I've got the Talking Talladega Nights Ricky Bobby. And then the Watchmen set, and I haven't taken that out in a while, and I'm worried because there's batteries in there. I wonder if for all these ones that they have the batteries, if they've corroded now. I hope not. And I got the Labyrinth set right there with the MC Escher inspired staircase scene. Really nice addition. Underworld set right there, which I believe was a Best Buy exclusive. The Planet Earth Globe, V for Vendetta. I've got some of the Christmas tins down there. The Big Lebowski bowling ball. I don't know, I've got a bunch of different boxes. And then I was wondering too, when I organized the collection for these bigger sets, should I separate them and put them on like the bottom, or should I just put them in alphabetically with the rest of the Blu-rays? I feel it'll look weird, all like, you know, one skinny case and then Ted, and one skinny case and like, you know, the Lego Movie. So let me know what you think about that. And let's go ahead and look on the rest of the collection over ya. And here's a whole stack right here that I'm going to be selling. I still got to go through the rest of the comics and like organize them too, because I'm going to sell a bunch of those. I kept some aside and I sold a few already. Here's the rest of the collection. I think I'm going to keep like a lot of the early X-Force and the New Mutants. Let's look at some of the big ones. And then for Spawn, which is the newsstand edition, by the way, which is the harder one to come by. But I have all this stuff I got to like move and organize. But obstructed from view right there are TV shows and seasons on Blu-ray, and then Disney, which I think I only have like 60 or so Blu-rays for Disney, so I think I'm just going to integrate them with the rest of the Blu-rays. Then Twilight Time, and then I have more Twilight Time right there in the other room. That's a huge stack of horror Blu-rays, huge stack of Criterions over there, some Arrow Video, and then I've got I've got a Criterion collection there, a little bit of Eureka, which I guess I'm going to integrate because I don't have many. Criterion, all the bus sets up there, and then I do have another Caesar old school DVD bus sets, one of the nicest bus sets ever released. Down there I've got DVD steelbooks, Blu-ray steelbooks, Blu-ray steelbooks, Blu-ray steelbooks, Blu-ray steelbooks, Digibooks, Arrow Video, and again I have Arrow Video in the other room, and then down over here too. And then I've got all horror Blu-rays over here, right there, and then I got a couple things up at the top here, and then more horror Blu-rays, and the Evil Dead 2 signed 10, and I've got some Funkos. I got some signed Funkos, some other little goodies right there, Garbage Pail Kids figures, and more box sets and stuff. Here's a Home Alone promo press release thing right there for when the film was originally made, and I gotta do a video for that. I've had that in my collection for ages now. I've got some other box sets and stuff. There's the Sing in the Rain one over there. But, yeah, it's most of the collection right there. And I do want to organize it soon. Yeah, I'm going to do a video talking about Wrigley. It's Wrigley with a W, by the way. Hold on. Logan G, what's up? I like Soul Plane. Yeah, I thought I was like the only one that liked Soul Plane. It's cheesy fun. It's entertainment. You know, everybody kind of craps on it, but I like it. It's funny. Before Kevin Hart got really big and popular, even though I'm not a big Kevin Hart fan personally. I think he's actually a better actor than a comedian. That's not really saying a lot, but you haven't seen Drive, definitely check out Drive. I love that film. That's become an all-time favorite of mine. I think the collection should be on the bottom, not mixed with the DVDs. What's your favorite Criterion, favorite Twilight Time? Movie or release, because that could be two different things. I have some movies that I would say are excellent, but then there's some releases that are even better. You need to find a chick with OCD to let loose on the collection. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. Ben Hibbert, do you keep a log of your films? No, I haven't. I should though. I've been watching a ton of movies recently, trying to like go through my collection. That's why this huge stack right here is all stuff that I want to sell or trade or get rid of. Essentially purge out of the collection, because if I can't see myself rewatching the movie, there's no reason for me to keep it. And I've been watching a bunch of movies that I've had in my collection for a while, and just kind of to see if I want to keep them or not. And a ton of the like horror ones, especially low budget one, I've just been getting rid of because I just can't see myself rewatching it. I was, what? I Spy, was that the one with the Melissa McCarthy one, or that's just Spy, right? I don't know what I Spy is then, because I think the Melissa McCarthy one was just Spy. I think the Spy one is actually probably my favorite from Melissa McCarthy. I'm not a fan of hers. Scrolling through, I have never seen a Star Wars film. What? 80s horror fan 88. You need to get on that. Reject Films. What's up, homie? How are you? I figured you'd be at like Horror Hound now. How you doing? How's everything going with you? Judgment Night, absolutely. I think, I showed it in the room. Judgment Night is so underrated and definitely needs a Blu-ray release for sure. A few cast members from Devil's Rejects were coming to the UK Horror Con. You guys are getting a lot of horror conventions recently. You'd have them all separated, okay. So basically, I might keep how the collection is right now, but just finally alphabetize them. And I think I'll probably do a video doing that too, and kind of taking some out and just talking briefly about it if I want to say something about it while alphabetizing it. I do have a tripod there. I wanted one that was taller. Like I wanted one that was like eye level with me, so it'd be easy to shoot. But now it's a little bit shorter, obviously. But hold on, scrolling through. Yes, I did this one a little bit earlier. I think this is probably one of the earliest times I've ever done a live stream. Usually I do it like 10 or 11 o'clock at night here. And I know you guys over the UK are much later, so thank you for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. How dank is Hoop Dreams? Yeah, I think you messaged me before on that work. Hoop Dreams is probably my favorite sports documentary. Definitely, I got rid of my DVD for it. I need to upgrade it on Blu-ray for Criterion, so that's one that's like at the top of my wish list. Hoop Dreams on Criterion Blu-ray. Yeah, March Madness going on, NBA playoffs drawing near. I can't wait for the NBA playoffs. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm more into professional than college. Mr. Godfather 1981, what's up? Logan G, Reject Films. I'm sorry to hear that, Reject Films. I thought a lot of times you are, yeah, okay. I hope you're doing well, buddy. And I'm just trying to figure out what to watch tonight, and B, trying to watch like the time of it, because every time I do one of these live streams, like it'll feel like 5 minutes, but then it's like over an hour. So I do want to watch a couple of movies tonight, knock some out for sure. Scroll through here as far as I think the Three Colors trilogy is probably one of my favorite releases from Criterion Collection. Trying to go through. Secret Honor is one that I wish would get a Blu-ray upgrade. Really love that Altman film. Just a tremendous performance from Philip Baker Hall in there. Port of Shadows is another one that deserves a Blu-ray upgrade. I'm trying to remember. I know I have to separate these two for Criterions. Do you guys organize them by spine number or alphabetically? Let me know, please. But I would say La Haine is one of my favorites. Robinson Crusoe on Mars is another one of my favorites. Like all-time favorites right there. The Vanishing, which one of my buddies on here has brought up a bunch. Ride with the Devil is probably my favorite Ang Lee movie. Darjeeling Limited, probably my favorite Wes Anderson, or Royal Tenenbaums. I don't know. I'm just scrolling through here. The Jim Jarmusch, I'm really looking forward to Dead Man on Criterion. I actually did a list for top 10 movies that deserve a Criterion Collection release. Dead Man, I think I had number 1. Love the heck out of that film, and excited to pick that up on Criterion. But The Great Beauty is one that I liked. That was like 4 years ago, I think it might have come out now. And Blue is the Warmest Color, which is another one that I liked recently too. And I was really surprised with Personal Shopper. That was one a recent Criterion Collection pickup right here. And this one really, it's essentially like a horror drama. And I'm not a big fan of Kristen Stewart, but she was decent in that role. The way that she acts fit that role. But there's some random stuff. I seriously need a Region 8 player. Yeah, well, you guys have, I know Criterion Collection has come over to the UK, so you guys got some stuff. I mean, it's like, I'm so happy that you guys had that experience, and then that Arrow Video came over here as well. I know we're both wanting that to happen. I've been watching you for so long, so many years, bro. Best movie guy. Thank you. I appreciate that, T. Lewis. Nintendo 2009. What's going on? The 3 Paradise Lost films. I had the trilogy. I don't know if I still have it somewhere or not. A lot of, again, it just shows how the criminal justice system can be kind of manipulated, and it's an interesting case, and it's the way that they had to get out. So I think there was some kind of term that they had to like essentially like agree to something to be let out finally. But I think those films, and then like I know Johnny Depp was somewhat involved in the cases too, so they kind of got the ball rolling. What's going on, Joe? How are you? I am going to watch a movie tonight. I'm just not sure what I'm going to watch. Yeah, Daniel B. Definitely horror's my favorite genre as well. Again, this is all horror Blu-rays right here. And over here as well. Then I got that big stack right there. And then I've got some in the other room too, but then I have the horror DVDs. Maybe I should put the horror DVDs. I love the way that looks, right? I don't know. What do you guys think of that setup? Where I have some of the box sets and Funko Pops and figures right there. I love that look right there, but I know, like, I don't know, it's one of those constant battles. It's like an ebb and flow for the collection. Like, I get some in, I take some out, and it's just, you know, there's only so much room. So, again, like I said, I only want to keep movies in my collection that I can see myself watching again. Indo King, are you going to do a complete Blu-ray collection video? Yes, I was just talking about that before. I'm going to organize them all first, because right now they're not organized, and I wish I should have done this like years ago, because my collection was like double the size like a few years ago. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the room to display it. I had a ton in boxes on the floor, like everywhere, and like stacks all over the place. So I've gotten rid of a ton since then. But when I first started collecting, I can tell you the first 2 DVDs I ever bought. It was in 1999 or 2000, and it was right when I moved to New Jersey, and it was the first 2 I bought. I can't remember which. I might have bought them at the same time. It was Last of the Mohicans and Goodfellas on DVD. Those are the first 2 I ever bought. The first Blu-ray I ever got was the Heather's Locker 10, but I didn't. I thought it was a DVD Blu-ray combo pack, so I didn't really know. But the first Blu-ray I ever intentionally bought was John Carpenter's The Thing. I think the set looks good. Really like the Sleepaway Camp. Yeah, I love the Sleepaway Camp Red Cross Survival set right there, all signed up. The Red Cross one is the one that was recalled. They reissued it without the Red Cross on there, and then I was lucky enough to get it all signed up. I should probably move Pinhead. Kind of obstructs how awesome that Sleepaway Camp set looks. And then here's my favorites. Probably the rarest thing I have in my collection. Probably my favorite box set too. It's a DVD set. It's for Suspiria and Deep Red. It's the Japanese heat box edition. It won't really show up right now because it's so cold. But basically what you do is you apply heat. Like a lot of times just holding it, it reveals an image underneath this black part. Yeah, it won't show up on here because it's, like I said, it's like, 30 degrees outside. So even though I have the house set at like 62, it won't. But if you put your hand on there, usually like when it's spring or summer or something like that, even fall, it reveals images underneath, and it's really cool. And it's probably the most expensive one that I paid for anything. And I've only seen one other person on here have that, so definitely super rare. Bada. The first DVD I bought was Gold Member. I regret nothing. Excellent. Steven Costera, what's up? I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to watch tonight. I might watch Veronica. I'm also taking doing a fantasy baseball league with George from Talk Movies with Us. So I want to do a kind of practice run there and make sure, because the draft is tomorrow, and so I'm going to do that at some point too. And yeah, I might watch Veronica on Netflix because I've heard everybody like rave about that one. But I do want to. I wanted to knock out another one. I might knock out. I know the horror pack has a Blu-ray exclusive. Here's my horror pack. I might, I'm gonna do an unboxing for it. But I know there's one in here. I won't show it for you guys that also have the horror pack, in case you guys might not have received it yet. But there's one in here that I haven't seen, and I think I'm gonna do a giveaway, because I know one of the ones in here I have already. So I'll do that too. Veronica is from my country, Spain. You won't regret watching it. Awesome. A lot of great, some good Spanish horror films out there. I don't know if anybody has seen The Uninvited Guest. I feel like that one's pretty underrated. I never hear anybody really talk about it. Because I don't have it organized, I don't know exactly where it is, but I do have it on DVD somewhere in here, in this vicinity. I definitely need to organize. Maybe I'll do like a separate video, like organizing my horror DVDs, organizing my regular DVDs, organizing my Blu-rays, all that kind of stuff. Do a video for each of those. Again, I've cut down big time on my horror DVD collection because I've upgraded a ton to Blu-ray, and then I got rid of a lot of low-budget stuff that I just never plan to watch again. Sometimes they're good for a one-time watch, but if I can't see myself re-watching something, there's no reason to keep in my collection. I need to check these ones out. The Dead Time Stories from George A. Romero. I love that cover. I'm kind of hoping I'll like it so I can keep the cover. I can rationalize it, because that cover's freaking awesome, that lenticular cover. And then the Volume 2 right there, too. So I need to check those out soon. I've had those in my collection for a little bit. I don't know where The Uninvited Guest is now on here, but it's... I believe it's Spanish horror. Very atmospheric. I would definitely recommend it if you can find it, and I can't even find it in my collection right now. I know Night of the Lepus is getting a release from Scream Factory. I have a funny story about that maybe sometime I'll talk about. Kind of when I think I was in high school when I watched it. Some crazy party times back in the day. Oh, Cold Prey 2. Awesome. I love the heck out of that. Fire in the Sky deserves a Blu-ray release, and Who Can Kill a Child as well. My favorite evil killer kid movie. I like the original title better, Island of the Damned. And there's the Fire in the Sky, my favorite alien abduction movie. Pin also needs a Blu-ray release, very underrated Canadian horror. Shredder is cheesy fun. I like it. I dig it. Again, snowy setting horror. And then, I can't find The Uninvited Guest. I know I have it over here somewhere, but I just don't know where. Womp, womp, womp. But yeah, I'll probably do videos organizing stuff, and then I'll do a complete collection overview. Have you seen Creepshow 2? Yes, absolutely. I would highly recommend Creepshow 2, but don't watch Creepshow 3. Yeah, Creepshow 1 and 2, I almost like them equally. All of them are winners as far as the different segments. Yes, I've seen May. In fact, I have May right here. That deserves a Blu-ray release as well. Rec 4. I don't have Rec 4. In fact, I didn't really care for Rec 4. It's my least favorite of the series. I like the first 3 Rec movies. In fact, Rec 2 is my favorite of the series. Yes, the greatest horror movie from Spain is Rec. Absolutely. Quarantine, I don't necessarily think is garbage. I just think it was unnecessary. It's a shot-for-shot remake, essentially, with American actors. Rec 2 had a better ending, but I actually thought the acting from the lead in Quarantine was better. But again, it was unnecessary. The same thing with the remake for Let the Right One In. That is a transcendent all-time classic. And Let Me In, not a bad movie, just unnecessary. I feel the same way. But a lot of these remakes, again, I haven't seen the remake for Inside, but I was like, the original French Inside is one of my all-time favorites and an all-time classic. And they're just remaking so many of these movies. If you can read movies with subtitles. And the more that you watch them, the easier it is to retain. I just don't... blows my mind. Met Felissa Rose, Jeffrey Combs, and Alan... Okay, cool. That's awesome. Crypticon is not one I'm familiar with. But I did live in Kansas City when I was a kid briefly. Kansas City, Missouri. And then I lived in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas as well. Scrolling through... Dead Time Stories are okay, very mixed bag. I know a lot of these newer anthology ones like VHS, ABCs of Death, it's exactly that. It's a mixed bag. Some are great, some are good, some are terrible. Yeah, I do have... there's the good Inside right there. And then this one is so outrageous. Black Devil Doll. The lead actress in here... She used to be on YouTube. I think she might still be too, but she used to make like, horror updates and reviews and stuff like that. And that might be her hair in there, in fact, actually. Because I actually sent this to her to sign, and she sent it back to me, so pretty cool. But I just noticed there's like a long hair in there. And it's not mine because my hair isn't that long. So, pretty cool. And here's one I always thought was underrated too, All Hallows Eve. It's a horror anthology set on Halloween. And Art the Clown is the creepiest clown in horror movie history to me. And the director has a new movie out called Terrifier, which I can't wait to check out. It has Art the Clown in there again as the lead, so I'm definitely souped for that. And here's some more different movies, just scrolling through. The Hitcher definitely needs a Blu-ray release. I'm hoping Arrow Video will release it. Carriers I always felt was underrated. Pontypool is another one that I feel is super underrated. And I like All Hallows Eve. Yes, I can't wait to see Terrifier. I'm not a huge fan of the Godzilla movies. I have a couple of them, but I'm not the biggest fan of them. But again, maybe I should. I felt like I only watched them when I was younger, so I do have the most recent one. I feel like I should give them another chance, perhaps. I feel like there's a lot of movies that I wasn't a big fan of when I was younger, and I rewatched them as an adult. Your change is, kind of cultivate over time. And one thing I will say, I had that Godzilla like roaring metal pack edition, and it doesn't roar anymore. The battery, I guess, must have died out of there. Yes, absolutely. I felt the same way with, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one, but The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the original is an all-time classic, almost Hitchcockian, and the American remake I thought was terrible. I feel like it's only English-speaking people. Like a lot of people in the UK and in America were raving about the English remake and saying how great it was, and I was like, you guys need to put that Chronic down. I don't know. I mean, it pales in comparison to me. Yes. Indie Phantom, what's up? Scrolling through, completely agree. Yes. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the remake of Martyrs either. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. But the original Martyrs to me is just a rough. It's like a tale of two halves right here. The first half I absolutely love. The second half is essentially torture porn to me. The girl's just chained up in the basement being beaten, and the whole concept is kind of absurd. And I don't know, but I think it's one of those movies that every horror fan, especially fans of like gory extreme horror, need to see at least once. Oh, I forgot my beverage here. Cheers. If anybody's drinking anything tonight, I'm drinking Trogues Nugget Nectar, and it's pretty darn tasty. Yeah, it's definitely time for me to get a haircut. I've got that Jimmy Neutron look going on. Scrolling through. Regarding the earlier comments to me, the more film that needs a Criterion Collection recent. Yes, absolutely. I feel like, was there ever an uncut version of that? I remember hearing something like there was one in the UK, but I'm not 100% sure. I like Ken Russell a lot. He's done some great, crazy, outlandish films. Yeah, I haven't seen the Inside remake. I know that came out recently. I feel like it just kind of went under the radar. Yes, I have seen Hellraiser Judgment. I talked about it briefly in a video, and I did record a video kind of like talking about it a little bit more in a Blu-ray update, but I haven't posted it yet. I personally wasn't a fan. I feel like the Hellraiser series, after Hellraiser 3, there's only one sequel I like after Hellraiser 3, and that's Hellworld with Lance Henriksen. All the rest are below average. And I felt the same way about Hellraiser Judgment, but I know a lot of people like it. Sometimes it blows, like, it's hard for me to grasp that people like certain movies. Like, I've seen people talking and raving about Hellraiser Judgment. I watched a movie called Demon House, and I was like, how can anyone possibly like this movie? It was like a 0 out of 10 for me, and I saw a few people like raving about it. I was like, what? Are we watching the same movie? Like, nothing happened. I don't know. Blows me away. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of Hellraiser Judgment, but I will say the actor who played Pinhead was better than the one that was in the time before. The Revelations, maybe? Is that what it was? But the Hellraiser actor who played Pinhead in the previous Hellraiser movie was the worst by far. I wish they would bring Doug Bradley back. Oh, I like The Workaholics a lot. I wish that would have lasted a little bit longer. I'll have to check out Game Over, man. Yes, Crimes of Passion. I have that on Arrow Video, and the slipcover for that is just like almost like a satin feel to it. But he also did Altered States. He did. I think did he do a movie called Horror? I think he might have. Yeah, the first 3 Hellraisers are great, and I really liked
Hellworld too with Lance Henriksen. There is, but Warner absolutely refuses to release it. UK critic Mark Kermode. I've heard of him. I'm pretty sure I have. I think I have anyways. Maybe it might be getting mixed up with somebody else. But yeah, I would definitely like to see that get a uncut release. Maybe one day, hopefully. I liked Hellraiser Inferno. Yeah, I think Inferno was a little bit like Judgment, but I thought the names for the serial killers in both Inferno and Judgment were terrible. One was the Engineer, and then the Preceptor was the one for the serial killer in Hellraiser Judgment. I was like, oh, the names. They just run out of names for that. There could have been so many better ones. Yeah, even the Hellraiser Judgment to me, I felt like Pinhead was so weak. He did like nothing until like the last couple minutes of the movie. And there's like an angel who looks like a porn star in there. I'm just like, ah. And you know they kind of ripped off Seven as well. Instead of like the Seven Deadly Sins, it was like the Ten Commandments. It was rough to sit through that one. Yeah, I couldn't. You were one of the people that liked Hellraiser Judgment. I was not a fan at all. It was rough. Below average for me. Yeah, it's disappointing that he doesn't. I thought there was some kind of disagreement with him, like he wanted more money, and he was the face of the franchise for sure. Yeah, I haven't really checked out Stardust. I know you mentioned it to me before, Reject Films. Are they 10-second reviews, 30-second? Like, how many seconds do you get to review on there? I don't know. I don't know if I could really do a quick review like that. I feel like I ramble too much. I've only seen the first two Hellraisers. Is it worth through the rest of them? No, I would say Hellraiser 1 through 3 are the best, then Hellworld. The rest I wouldn't recommend even watching, personally. I feel like a lot of those movies were just waste of times. And yeah, I saw, again, I'm probably going to do a review for Demon House just because it was so, it was actually, they sent me a screener link for it a while back, and I finally ended up watching it, and it was just, it was the guy from Ghost Adventures on the Travel Channel. And I don't even know how any of those shows exist. Like, every episode of any of those paranormal investigating TV shows, they all end the same way. It's at the end, they're in their van or truck or whatever. They're like, there was definitely some creepy stuff going on. I felt it. I could hear something. We didn't catch anything on camera. Next time we will. Like, it's the same friggin' thing for the Ghost Adventures movie TV show's been on for 15 years or 15 seasons. It like blows my mind how that people could watch it the same crap every time. It boggles the mind to me. And the Demon House is from the same guy on there, from the Ghost Adventures thing. And it's like essentially an extended episode of Ghost Adventures, and just 0 out of 10 for me. No redeeming factors. Just rough. And I know indie director Adam Albrecht is in there too as one of the cameramen who gets affected. And you're better than that, Adam. I don't know what you're doing in there, but I hope you got a good paycheck at the very least. Because that was just rough to sit through. It was an hour and a half waste of time. That's basically my review right there. I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth though. So yeah, I wish there was a way to I want to review on my cell phone because it's just so much easier to do. But for my iPhone 7, when you use iMovie, there's no way to put a picture in, at least through the cell phone. I know if you have it on the computer, you can do that, but I don't have a Mac. I just have a regular desktop with no editing software currently. So every time you see any editing or anything recently, it's all done through my cell phone. Mike from Red Letter Media loved Demon House, then I don't know what to tell you. Here's the thing. If you're a fan of the Ghost Adventures TV show and all those paranormal investigating TV shows, you'll like Demon House because it's the same friggin' thing. For me, I think all of that is garbage. There's nothing that ever happens. There's nothing enjoyable, frightening, scary, interesting in any of that stuff. It's the same recycled, generic stuff we see all the time. It's all scripted. And that's exactly what the Demon House movie was. It's just... It blows my mind that anybody can like any of that stuff. But the bottom line is, if you're a fan of paranormal investigation TV shows, you'll like Demon House because it's the same thing. It's basically an extended episode of that. But yeah, I think Demon House is a 0 out of 10, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Unwatchable, no redeeming qualities at all. The only, again, that I'm trying to be objective and say, if you like the Ghost Adventures TV show, you'll like Demon House. So, I don't know who was it, Red Letter Media? I can't even find that comment now. Yeah, I'm not, I feel like I've heard of Red Letter Media, but I don't know if I've ever actually checked out the reviews. But yeah, again, if you like that stuff, the TV shows of that, you'll like the movie. But if you don't, you know, I try to go in there with an open mind, but it was worse than I was expecting. What What's up, the broken, unpredictable gamer? Indie Phantom, which series has the worst sequels? Hellraiser, Children of the Corn, The Howling. Those are all, they all have some really rough sequels. I might have to go with The Howling as well. The Howling, I feel like, after the first one, the last one actually wasn't too bad. I think the first and last are the best ones. But, yeah, those have some really rough sequels. I don't have the Scarlet Hellraiser box set. I do want to get that, though. Yeah, exactly. Doug Bradley, who is the face of Hellraiser, he is Pinhead. He wants more money, and I think for the face of your franchise, you should give it to him. I think it'll appease fans, but more importantly, though, this last guy who was Pinhead, he wasn't bad, but they didn't really utilize him enough, and you need better writing. That's the biggest issue. They're 30-second reviews on Stardust. I just don't know. I don't like doing another app. Do you like? I don't know. I need to find out more information about Stardust. I'll look into it. I won't write it off completely, but I'll check it out and see what's up. Will you trade me your Blu-ray of The Road, not the Vigo? No. I think you might have messaged me that a while ago. No, I'm not trading it. It's one of those super hard, rare to find ones. It's I can't remember what country it's from right now, but somewhere, it's some kind of Asian one, I think. But I love the heck out of that film, and that one is super hard to find. And I have it signed by the director twice, on the disc and then on the front cover. Obviously, that guy's not too familiar with signing stuff because he signed it on the plastic, not on the actual cover sheet. Scrolling with the homies. Go to the horror for me has to be The Burning. Yeah, Burning is one that I haven't watched in forever, but I feel like it's one of the more overrated horror movies. And I thought it was like some of the worst, like overrated horror effects from Tom Savini too. The raft scene, it looked so fake to me, and then the editing towards the end. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan, but I haven't watched it in a long time. That's another one I feel like maybe I should rewatch. Yeah, it has a lot of well-known young actors at the time. What's up, David Loomis? Yeah, for me, I thought Hellraiser Judgment was way worse than Bloodline, Day of the Dead Bloodline. I actually liked the guy, was it Jonathan Shaich, who played the bub character in there. I thought he was really good. And I thought some of the effects were good, which is more than what I could say for Hellraiser Judgment personally. But I think the worst horror sequel I've seen in the past year was Jeepers Creepers 3. It should have just been called Jeepers Creepers 3 The Truck. It's like, that's a franchise that deserves better, and they need somebody to buy out Victor Salva so there won't be so many protests and issues with that. They need to have it in a better writer's hand as well. To me, the first Jeepers Creepers movie is one of the better American horror movies in the past couple decades. I absolutely love it. The Creeper is an iconic, horror icon in my opinion, and deserves a full franchise that's better than what it is. I'm gonna go look through the horror Blu-ray section real quick because I might have to watch. Yes. I think he's a good actor too. I don't think he gets enough credit, but he was really good in there as the bub character. Yeah, absolutely. Victor Salva. To me, it blows my mind that he still directs movies after what he did. It's crazy to me. Yes, absolutely. Again, I didn't know about his whole past until after I was a fan of the first Jeepers Creepers movie. And I do like the second one, too. It gives you more of like a backstory. But the third one is just terrible. Where is The Road? I want to show that off. And I actually want to put that in my more underrated horror movies list because I never hear anybody talk about it. And somebody who messaged me on here before wanted to know if I would trade it or something. I was like, no, heck no. Because you can't ever find it anywhere, and I've never heard anybody else talk about it. And of course, I can't ever find anything over here, so I won't be able to friggin' find it, I'm sure. Do you guys see a movie called The Road? Let me know, because every time I'm looking for something, I can't ever find it. I don't know where the heck it is. I need to organize faux show. But you guys can get kind of a pan through of what I've got in the collection as well. Kind of a random thing right here. Oh, here it is right here. It was like right in front of me the whole friggin' time. But, oh man, I can't remember what country this came from. Tagalong is the language. And I can't remember what, but yeah, he signed on the actual clear case, the director. But I thought this was super creepy and atmospheric and very underrated. But for whatever reason, this Blu-ray is like out of print and goes for like crazy stupid money. And then he also signed on the disc. I don't know if that picks up on here or not. But yeah, obviously this director's not really familiar. Maybe it might be Filipino, from the Philippines. But yeah, the director obviously must not be familiar with how to sign stuff because, you know, you're supposed to sign on the artwork itself, not the clear plastic case or the disc. But definitely enjoy the heck out of that film. Very underrated, creepy as heck. I remember watching that for the first time with this girl, and she was so creeped out. And I remember she's like, when she went home, she's like messaging me on the way home, like freaking out about it. But yeah, this is I actually like Children of the Corn Urban Harvest. That was a fun one. But I'm gonna do a whole video organizing this, alphabetizing it, and you know, it'll be one of those things where I'll take a movie out here and there and talk about it briefly. Like I'm not gonna, you know, I'll do a whole collection overview afterwards, but I'll do one organizing it too. I think that could be kind of fun. And that whole stack right there is horror Blu-rays, and I've got a few more in the other room too. I thought TCM2 was a great sequel. Absolutely. You know, I like the comedic take for sure. And Next Generation is a guilty pleasure for me. In fact, there's the two different covers right there. It's I don't know, it's cheesy, but I dig it. And I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre is besides the one the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, which is for me the worst in the series. And it has the worst line in horror movie history. Do your thing, cuz this is all gonna slide and fall. I need to organize all this stuff. But the Leatherface one from TCM3, I'm so glad that got a Blu-ray release from Warner Archive. But yes. No. I don't know. Next Generation, I can't say it's a great movie for sure. It's cheesy and I love how ridiculous it is. But it's not worse than Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. Scrolling through, I really wanted to see I Saw the Devil. I Saw the Devil I don't consider a horror movie. It's more like a crime thriller, and I love it, except for I don't really like the catch-release aspect, but the movie's excellent. And Dead Girls is essentially zombie rape. That's what it is. These two high schoolers find this abandoned building, and in the basement they find a zombie chained up, and she's like, I'm pretty sure she's naked in it. But I like the morality aspect of it, and I love the ending to that film. Yeah, David Loomis, spot on. Yes. Scrolling through. How do you organize your movie collection? Right now it's not organized at all, which is what I definitely need to do. I need to organize the heck out of it. Excuse me. All right, what was the last... The Leatherface? I liked Leatherface, actually, the recent one. I enjoyed that one. It was from the directors that did Livid and Inside. I was expecting more from them, but I still enjoyed it. It was... The whole timeline for Texas Chainsaw Massacre is crazy and mixed up, so I was, at first I was like, did they really just do that with that character at the end of Leatherface? I was like, oh man. But I still enjoyed the film overall. Hold on, I'm still scrolling through here. I must have missed your other comment, Logan, but what's up, man? Psycho Savage 88. Real CC, It Follows. Yes, absolutely. I love It Follows. I think that was one of the ones where it lives up to the hype. Like, there's certain movies in the past few years, like The Witch for me, It Follows. Those ones definitely lived up to the horror hype. One that I don't hear enough people talk about that I think is kind of underrated is The Black Coat's Daughter. Absolutely love that film. And I'm debating on if I should put that on my top 10 of 2016 or 17, because I think it was one of those ones where it didn't get a release here until 2017, but it was released in like Mexico in 2016, something like that. I don't know. I got to double check on that one. The same thing with The Devil's Candy, I think. Yes, I think. Well, I think that's what they were trying to do with that Reject Films, make her like a baby. But yeah, I like Stephen Dorff as well. He's pretty. He was in The Gate way back in the day. He's been around for a while. Any upcoming horrors in 2018 you're excited about? I don't. I'm still. When does the Halloween come out? Because I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna give that a fair chance. Yeah, it might take me a year to organize. I think it'll at least take me a few days to properly organize everything. And I still want to do like updates. Like this is all stuff I want to do updates for over here, and then as well as over here, I want to do some updates for all that pile, and then some over here too. So that's another thing. Maybe I'll just do updates later and like put them out like that. I finally I binge watched 13 Reasons Why, is season 1, and I'm looking forward to season 2. I know they already started production of it, and I friggin' love this show. Even though I have some issues with it, I think the generation that I grew up in was much different, and you know, bullying is a way of life. Everybody gets bullied and picked on. You deal with it. I feel like people are so more affected now, and it's hard for me to grasp that. That was one of the things I have an issue with. But I thought it was incredibly good writing, acting. A lot of these young actors, that's like their first time acting. I know he was in something else too. Open House, I think, on Netflix. I need to check that one out still. But the soundtracks were incredible too on all the episodes. But I really love that one. It deserved a Blu-ray release. I don't know why they did a DVD only release for it. And I wish they would have had a little bit more special features too. I watched the special features on there. But, yep. So I'm trying to figure out what to watch tonight. I might watch the horror exclusive or the horror pack exclusive Blu-ray that came. Or I might watch Veronica. I might watch the Dead Time Stories from George A. Romero. Debating. I'm trying to knock out some stuff that I have in my collection that I haven't seen. I've done a pretty good job of knocking a lot of it out the past few months. And that was one of the things I had like a goal to like downsize the collection and watch movies I haven't seen. I've done pretty well, but now I've had kind of like an impasse. I'm kind of like, I can't just, binge watch for several hours. I binge watched 13 Reasons Why when I got snowed in. Work was canceled, like everything was canceled, state of emergency. So I basically did that the whole day and then a little bit the next day. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what to watch. Should I watch Dead Time Stories? Should I watch Veronica on Netflix? Should I watch whatever the horror pack Blu-ray exclusive is? I think it has Malcolm McDowell in it. But I feel like all those horror pack Blu-ray exclusives, not too many of them were that good, personally. A lot of independent stuff. Pedrex, what's up? Yeah, I'm not going to stick around too much longer myself because it's already an hour. So I like Stranger Things. I in fact, love Stranger Things, and I can't wait to see 30 people up in here. Give me some likes, please. Because I know it's always like I'll have 30 people in here and I'll have like 3 likes. I appreciate the likes actually help exposure too. So if you guys can, leave comments and likes and all that stuff, it actually helps me out. So I definitely appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much to everybody who's liking. I definitely appreciate it. I love Stranger Things. It was one of those ones that TV shows that I put off watching for a while because I heard so much buzz about it, and a lot of times I'm let down by the hype, and then I got sucked into that, and I binge watched that too. First, like the 2 seasons I watched in like a couple days. I loved it, and I'm looking forward to the next season. Again, it was the first episode. They had a movie poster of John Carpenter's The Thing in the background, and I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna like this show." And I definitely one of the things I kind of wish the kids were a little bit older. So I don't know. I feel like it would be more relatable if they were like high school kids. I don't know. I feel like when I was that young, like I don't remember much stuff, but high school always stands out to me. So like 13 Reasons Why, it definitely like transported me back to that time period, and playing sports and hanging out with chicks and going to house parties and all that kind of stuff. We used to have a lot of hotel parties. There'd always be somebody that had their parents' credit card that they would put it on there for the hotel room for the deposit and stuff, and crazy times and crazy memories. And I remember at one point I lived in this one development, and there were, like we'd go party out on this like dirt road, and now that dirt road is gone. They built all these condominiums and stuff, but there was some country song, something about like a dirt road, and it made me think about that. I'm not too big into country music, although recently I did find a few country songs that I ended up enjoying. But hold on, I'm scrolling through best Rob Zombie. For me, House of a Thousand Corpses. no contest for me personally. House of a Thousand Corpses is my favorite by him, and there was talks of him doing another Blob remake. Although the other Blob remake I thought was excellent with Shawnee Smith and Dylan in there too. Shawnee Smith has been around for so long. She was in Summer School, the Blob remake, and of course the Saw movies. Okay, you did see the Blu-ray exclusive for the horror pack. That's good at least. I feel like the majority of the horror pack exclusives aren't very good. Like I have one of the Galaxy of Horrors one, and I would burn that in a fire if it wasn't for like 2 segments on there. Like that's the whole reason I'm keeping, really for one segment. The one when they were in space is like, I can't remember what the name of it, but they were in space, and it was just an amazing one that I wish they would make a full film about. But the rest of the ones, like, there's a couple good ones, one great one, and then a lot of trash on that one. But then some of the other ones, like there's another one that was okay, but most of the ones are disappointing for me that I've seen. I did some downsizing a few times, but lately I fear the loss of physical media too much, and I'm hoarding more and more. I think, well, I've been saying this for a couple of years now, I think physical media is going to go the way of like limited editions, like Twilight Time has usually limited to 3,000 copies. Code Red, I can't remember what they're limited to, but each movie might be a little bit more money, but they're going to be limited to less. Like, obviously, big studios like Warner Brothers, Lionsgate, they're going to have, maybe limited to 50,000 or something like that. And there'll still be physical media out there. I mean, look at vinyl. Vinyl's made a huge comeback and a ton of money, and that's become a really popular thing, and they've kind of jumped on that market. They've done, variants, lots of new artwork, and, different colored vinyl records and stuff like that, and there's a huge increase in that. So I think physical media will be around for a long time, and it's just going to be limited. I think that's the thing. I don't know, I'm always, like, Netflix, all the time I see them losing the rights for different movies, and I don't know, a lot of times it could be out, and you have to wait a while, and I don't know, I just definitely prefer physical media by far. Favorite found footage movie, the Poughkeepsie Tapes. Found footage isn't a genre that I'm a big fan of. The Blair Witch Project, I think, is the most overrated horror movie in history. I'm not into, like, a lot of those ones that were popular just weren't for me. But the Poughkeepsie Tapes by far is my favorite. I did like, I can't remember the name of that. There was like a vampire one recently, too, that was pretty decent. 13th Wolfman, what's up? I'm doing well. Have you checked out the new movie Unsane? I have not, but I have heard of it. I have not seen the Emoji Movie. I have no desire to see that movie. Yeah, it felt like just an advertisement for the apps and stuff. Absolutely. Just seeing the trailers and the clips, I was like, how is this? Like, they will literally make a movie for anything. Yeah, no. The Poughkeepsie Tapes was one of the few movies that I thought was legitimately creepy, especially the ending. It always stands out for me. Borderlands is a fantastic found footage movie. Is that the one with Sean Astin in there, plays like a creepy guy, and the guy from Boy Meets World? Because if that's the one I'm thinking of, I didn't realize it was a UK film, unless it's a different movie. Afflicted, thank you, Joe. Yeah, Afflicted I thought was a really good one too for found footage. Scrolling through, there were really parties in my high school. Yeah. All right, pretty good surveillance movie. Rec, yeah, Rec would be in there for sure. Rec 2 though is my favorite of the Rec series. So for me, it'd be like the Poughkeepsie Tapes, and Rec 2 would be like the top 2 for me. There's an old, I remember one. It's probably gonna be dated by now, but it was Incident in Lake County. It was like an alien abduction movie. The aliens looked kind of stupid, but the rest of it had some good tension and creepiness and atmosphere. That was one that I don't think actually has a physical release, but I remember catching it on bootleg like forever ago, and I need a bootleg of it. Somebody else had it. Unsane was cool. Checked it out. The entire film was shot on an iPhone. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that one for sure. All right, that's not one that goes by a different name, is it? Because that reminds me, I saw something, was like, there's a couple different ones I saw that were UK found footage that involved the church. I think one was like the Clophill tapes or something like that, and there was 2 different ones that were kind of similar, and one had a really good ending, but the rest of the movie dragged, like the pacing wasn't consistent. but the ending to that movie was really good. Clop Hill Diaries or something like that. There was two different. I can't even remember it. I remember one had a cover where it was like a cross, and it had like looked like things were like moving on the cross. It was like little boxes or something. Grave Encounters was good, very underrated. And Grave Encounters needs a Blu-ray release. I know the second one has a Blu-ray release. Devil's Pass, absolutely. I need to get that one on. That only has a DVD release here, anyways. Cannibal Holocaust. I definitely think it has its merits, but for me, Poughkeepsie Tape's best found footage movie. I'd put Rec 2 over Cannibal Holocaust 2. I think Cannibal Holocaust was extremely influential, extremely... it's crazy to think that people thought it was a real movie, too. It's one of those things that's kind of shocking. The director was, like, arrested for a while. Some of the aspects I didn't like about it, but I think the soundtrack or the score for it was amazing. I didn't think The Devil Inside was the worst one I've ever seen. I've seen way, way worse. It wasn't... I'd say it was about average for me, Devil Inside. But trying to remember... I can't remember... Not Skeleton Key 3. Knock Knock 2 was a found footage movie. It was like one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and that was found footage. Yes, I've seen Last Shift. Last Shift is amazing, very underrated as well. I'd have to say that was the one most recent that creeped me out. Devil's Due. I don't think I saw that one. There's too many like similar movies that came out around that same time of, like a pregnant person carrying the devil's baby kind of thing. Oh, all right, I just got the notification that my battery is low, so I'm going to be cutting this off now, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, every time I'm on here, an hour, like 5 minutes feels, an hour feels like 5 minutes, rather, and I get so carried away talking to you guys, and I love that, though. I love the instant interaction, but I'm going to watch a couple movies tonight, and I'll probably do an unboxing for Horror Pack tomorrow, and I'll be doing a giveaway for one of the movies in there. Have a good night. Take care, guys. Enjoy.